One of the most powerful skills you can ever develop is the ability to truly see people. Not just who they pretend to be, but who they really are. Not surface-level charm, not words, character. Because the harsh truth is this: not everyone in your life is on your side. Some people are quietly rooting for your failure. Some don't want to see you grow, not because you've wronged them, but because your growth reminds them of their own stagnation. It's tempting to believe everyone means well, to assume good intentions. But that kind of blind optimism isn't noble, it's dangerous. And if you can't recognize the warning signs, you're setting yourself up for emotional traps that can take years to escape. So, how do you protect yourself? It starts with watching what people do, not what they say. Words are cheap, but behavior, it never lies. Pay attention to how people treat those they don't need. Waiters, assistants, cashiers. That's who they really are. Someone who disrespects the powerless won't think twice about harming you when it's convenient. Don't get fooled by charisma or surface-level kindness. Cruelty always leaks through, no matter how carefully it's hidden. Another red flag: confusion. If someone always leaves you questioning yourself, your feelings, your memories, your perceptions, that's not love. That's psychological warfare. That's manipulation. Healthy people bring clarity. They bring peace. When you're with someone genuine, you feel safe, grounded. But when you're with a manipulator, everything becomes foggy. You're always walking on eggshells, unsure of where you stand. This isn't by accident. Manipulators thrive in confusion. If they can make you doubt yourself, they can control you. That's why gaslighting is so effective. They don't just lie to you, they make you question your reality. It often starts small, twisting your words, minimizing your pain, rewriting history. Then one day, you realize you've stopped trusting your own instincts. That's when they have you. And most people never even notice it happening. Want to know how to spot this? Watch how someone reacts when confronted. Healthy people can say, "You're right, I messed up." Manipulators, they explode, deflect, turn it around. Suddenly, you're the villain. They'll guilt-trip you for even speaking up, make you feel like you're overreacting. That's not conflict resolution, that's emotional control. And the longer you stay, the more you begin to shrink. Here's a hard truth: you cannot change people who don't want to change. Stop wasting your energy thinking, if you just love them enough, explain it better, they'll suddenly evolve. They won't. Not if manipulation is working for them. The more chaos they create, the more powerful they feel. That's why you have to step away, not to hurt them, but to protect yourself, because if you stay, you'll slowly become a version of yourself you won't even recognize. And don't make the mistake of thinking you're the exception, that you'll be the one to fix them. That's ego talking. They don't want to be fixed. They want someone to carry their blame, their wounds, their mess for them. You deserve peace. You deserve people who don't drain your soul just to fill theirs. And the first step to building that kind of life, recognizing the ones who are standing in your way, and walking away before they consume you. If there's one trait that silently ruins lives, it's the refusal to take responsibility. You bring up a problem, and instead of accountability, they bring deflection, denial, or worse, rage. These people don't grow, they don't evolve. They stay stuck because they can't admit they're the problem. And what's worse, they drag others down with them, especially those who care enough to try and help. And here's the psychological twist: they seek out good people. People with empathy, with patience, with hope. Why? Because good people make excellent scapegoats. They know that someone kind-hearted will tolerate the blame, that you'll try to understand, justify, rationalize their behavior, and all the while, you'll be sacrificing your peace to carry their burden. But that's not compassion, that's self-betrayal. You can care about someone and still say, "This is not healthy for me." You can be empathetic without being used as a dumping ground for someone else's dysfunction. And here's something to remember. The moment you start shrinking yourself to make someone else comfortable, you've already lost. You were not meant to play small just so others don't feel insecure. So what's the solution? Start with self-awareness. Recognize the patterns, notice the emotional exhaustion, and build tools, real tools, that help you stay grounded and mentally strong, even around manipulative people. This is where I want to share something that's helped not just me, but thousands of others. In the description, I've curated a selection of powerful tools, practical, effective resources that support emotional resilience, mental clarity, and healthy boundaries. These aren't random suggestions. These are things used by therapists, coaches, and even public figures who understand how crucial it is to protect your mind and energy in today's world. Whether it's journaling tools, emotional regulation techniques, or boundary setting guides, you'll find them all in the links below. And more importantly, these tools actually work. They've helped people walk away from toxic situations, rebuild their self-worth, and reclaim their confidence. If you're serious about changing your inner world, start there. Link in the description. Let's get back to awareness. One major red flag: the person who always plays the victim. Every story they tell paints them as the innocent one. Every relationship ends the same way. It's never their fault. At first, you might believe them. Their stories are compelling. But eventually, a pattern emerges. They are always at the center of drama, always surrounded by toxic people, always the misunderstood one. But here's the truth. People who never accept blame are running from themselves. They live in denial. And worse, they rewrite reality to protect their fragile ego, even if it means hurting others. They'll sabotage your peace just to keep their illusion intact. They'll twist facts, deny events, rewrite conversations, all to escape responsibility. And if you're not vigilant, you'll be dragged into their false narrative. This is why awareness isn't optional. It's a survival skill. Because without it, you'll spend years questioning yourself, doubting your instincts, and giving energy to people who only know how to take. Some of the most painful betrayals don't come from strangers. They come from the people we trusted the most. A friend who turns distant. A partner who slowly poisons your self-esteem. A family member who makes you feel small every time you shine. And often, it doesn't happen all at once. It's slow, subtle, and calculated. This is what makes emotional predators so dangerous. They're patient. They know how to push just the right buttons, say just the right words, and chip away at your confidence over time. They don't strike openly. They corrode quietly. And if you're not careful, you won't notice until you're standing in the rubble of your own identity. So, how do you spot them? One of the biggest red flags is inconsistency. One day they love you. The next, they punish you with silence. One moment they compliment you. The next, they undermine you. You never quite know where you stand, and that's exactly how they want it. This instability keeps you hooked. You start chasing the version of them that was kind, funny, warm. You tell yourself, maybe it's just a bad day, maybe it's my fault. And that's when the real damage begins, when you start blaming yourself for someone else's dysfunction. But here's the truth. Real love, real friendship, real connection is consistent. It's grounded. It doesn't turn on and off based on mood, control, or power. If you constantly feel anxious, confused, or off balance in someone's presence, it's not love, it's control, and control is never love. Now let's talk about something even more dangerous than manipulation: spiritual manipulation. Some people don't just twist your emotions, they twist your morals. They use guilt, shame, and righteousness to control you. They make you feel like questioning them is wrong, like standing up for yourself is selfish. And this is the darkest part. Bad people often disguise themselves as virtuous. They present themselves as healers, mentors, helpers. But it's a mask, a performance. And once they've built enough trust, They use it to silence you. They weaponize your conscience against you. You must remember this. True virtue never demands silence. True love never needs to control. Anyone who uses guilt to manipulate your behavior is not helping you. They are imprisoning you. The goal of a healthy relationship is liberation, not submission. If someone constantly makes you feel like you owe them for their kindness, that's not generosity. It's a transaction. And when kindness becomes a currency for control, it's no longer kindness. It's a tool, a leash. So what's the way out? It starts with awareness, with truth, with saying to yourself, I deserve relationships that make me feel strong, not small. You don't need permission to protect your peace. You don't need validation to walk away from pain. Because here's the secret most people don't talk about. You don't need to fix everyone. You don't need to rescue them. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do, for them and for yourself, is to leave. To stop enabling, to stop shrinking, to stop hoping they'll change when they've shown you they won't. Let go of the fantasy. The version of them you fell in love with may have never truly existed. It was a projection, a promise with no follow-through. What matters now is not who they were, but who they keep showing you they are. And you are not weak for walking away. You are not cruel for setting boundaries. You are not cold for refusing to carry someone else's emotional weight. You are wise. You are protecting your spirit. And that's what self-respect looks like. Because at the end of the day, your life is your responsibility, not theirs, not anyone else's. And the sooner you stop expecting others to fix what's broken inside you, the sooner you'll realize you've always had the power to heal yourself. You just had to claim it. The process of healing doesn't start with finding the right person. It starts with removing the wrong ones. Because when your space is filled with chaos, there's no room for peace. When your time is consumed by conflict, there's no energy left for growth. Think about this. Every minute you spend trying to fix someone who refuses to change is a minute stolen from your own transformation. Every argument you have with someone committed to misunderstanding you drains your clarity, your focus, your future. And one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is this: if I just explain it better, maybe they'll understand. But they don't want to understand. They want control, and control thrives on confusion. It feeds off your hope. The real test is not how much you can tolerate, but how soon you recognize what you shouldn't. The stronger you become, the quicker you'll walk away from what doesn't align with your peace. And that's not weakness. That's wisdom earned through pain. We talk a lot about letting go, but letting go is not passive. It's active. It's a declaration: I choose myself. I choose clarity over chaos, healing over hurt, truth over illusion. And sometimes, choosing yourself means disappointing others. Let them be disappointed. You don't owe anyone access to your soul, especially not those who've proven they'll abuse it. You owe yourself protection. You owe yourself compassion. And you owe yourself a life that feels like your own, not one where you're constantly just surviving someone else's storm. And here's something you need to hear. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. Some people are meant to watch from the distance. Some never even deserved a ticket. And the moment you realize that, your life becomes lighter, simpler, free. You're not here to be everyone's healer, fixer, or savior. You're here to become the most whole version of yourself. And that means building boundaries so strong that even guilt can't climb over them. Yes, it will be hard. Yes, it will feel lonely at times. But temporary loneliness is better than lifelong emotional captivity. You are not abandoning anyone by choosing to stop abandoning yourself. Remember, self-love isn't soft, it's strong. It's choosing discomfort now to avoid destruction later. It's walking away with shaking hands and a trembling heart, but walking away anyway because you finally understand what you deserve. And what do you deserve? Peace, respect, clarity, reciprocity. You deserve a life where your kindness is not weaponized, where your empathy is not exploited, where your growth is celebrated, not feared. So let today be the line in the sand. The day you stop negotiating your worth. The day you stop explaining your value. The day you finally say, I'm done shrinking to fit someone else's story. I'm here to write my own. And the people who are meant for you, they'll never need to be convinced. They'll see your light and protect it. They'll support your growth and challenge your limits with love, not with cruelty. But none of that can happen until you clear the space. Let go of the resentment. Cut ties with manipulation. Say no to chaos. Because your best life won't begin while you're still trying to rescue what's already drowning you. This channel is new, but if something in this video spoke to you, if you felt seen, understood, maybe even empowered, I ask one small thing. Subscribe, leave a comment, share your thoughts. Let's build a community where truth, strength, and healing aren't just spoken, they're lived.